That is the end of the bridge scenes from this story. I added a little 10-minute thing there at the end with the Flyers scene to make it make more sense and to tie it into the previous episode. So it does make it a little longer, but it's the finale. So yeah, and to establish that, yeah, the one or two main TMS people are not coming back in a future iteration. I want to make it very clear that no, unless Sillian Space somehow revives her, they're not coming back in that story. So yeah, so you know what happens in the rest of it. Yeah, they're irredeemable characters in the story. So yes, so that's I want to give away the rest of the episode, but we're just doing the bridge scenes and stuff. We'll do the Academy stuff later. Now we've done all the bridge scenes, and now you can go on and film other episodes. Probably, I don't know if we're doing any more today, but that was it right now. So I'm gonna go watch some Star Trek Lower Decks. No, so anyway, so and no, we didn't know McMahon and the other one at all. But it is weird that it seems like something. Yeah. So the Q may not have actually sent them back in time. It may just be that they're testing them. So real brief, that last scene with the Tribble is immediately before Dax does her last log entry in the story. That's where that is. So that's what that is. It's hard to show them. That's what that is. Okay, this is the Qute in Our Stars teaser scene, rest of teaser scene. So we start with the Qute in Our Stars, which is the final episode of this series. So we did not do the Chekhov and the Captain scene, and now we're going to do it on page 5 and finishing up the teaser. There were other scenes that were done that kind of walked over it. Yeah. So yeah. This is that scene. Action. Okay, so this is continuing on the Qute in Our Stars, and yeah, the finale of Starship Destinations. Okay, there are literally like 3 pages left, so we are going to do those 3 pages and then dinner. So that's what's going on, and yeah. Okay, we are 3 pages away from the end, and this scene where the Jungswan people are visiting the Milpitas site, it can't be. I'm gonna have to rejigger some of the lines. So I decided that some people that weren't in the other, there's an extended ship scene at the end that was already filmed, so we don't want to necessarily do the thing with the weren't in the ship shot. The character of Jody shouldn't be in this scene. Miriam and Jammer can be. I think it would be more fun if Holocat was replacing Jody, because he's Holocat, and he's there. And also, then Holocat's appearance bleeds off into the part where Karen and Cinders and Everest Girl show up, all messed up because they were fighting. Nola Palma, that makes no sense. Unless it's really the Klingon lady, but that wouldn't make sense either. So Nola Palma at all. Doesn't make any sense to introduce us to a new character literally at the last minute of the last hour. And that doesn't make sense. These guys, that makes sense. So let's do that. Well, I'm going to need to have some dinner, even though it's getting late. Well, I'll make something small. So yeah, we have completed Sensible Photography on Starship Destinations with the final episode. Apparently, they were kicking around the idea of going on to do a movie after that. But let's put the stories together and air the episodes first before we do that. Yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, saying, oh, we got to do something more. It's so exciting. Let's put all the episodes together first. That's a better idea. Rushing ahead to do anything extra. Maybe that other script won't work. Maybe it will. Best to say this is the final chapter. We'll also have some fun stuff in preparation for the release of the episodes. It will be appearing. This was the Q in Our Stars. The pilot will likely be appearing before Halloween, and then so that's right after Lower Decks is over, and then on into November with the series. We'll likely air a few episodes at a time, so you can see them on the channel, because we can just crank them out. We also have to go back and principal photography on the ships and stuff like that, so this is not a very long making of behind the scenes of the final episode, because by the time it's the final episode, you pretty much have established what you're going to do it, you're shooting the characters on the set, you know where they're going, and it was funnier to read than to put out the story. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means really, real serious trying to put together. No, it's a very funny story. Very funny series, all in a nutshell. A lot of fun putting it together. More so than Robotech meets the Transformers. It should be roughly the same length as Robotech meets the Transformers, which was a 9-hour epic. Three segments that were 3 hours each. Yeah, this should be around that size, because they're slightly shorter than an hour each. So yeah, so might have to check and see if there's enough room on the disc. Might have to get another backup scratch disc. Yeah, drive, flash drive, because to put the whole movie on, you might have to do that. We'll see. We'll see how big the files are. Yeah, and you have to. We still have sci-fi ship footage to do as well. It should be fine in terms of everything else. Doesn't look like there's any horrible mistakes anywhere, blurry scenes, cut scenes, anything like that. So it should be all right. And Qute and our stars. We've been wanting to do a Q episode ever since Chimera, and we had several episodes come along and come and go over the years. Done 3 years of Starship locations. This is the third year, and the first year we did a bunch of stories related to blogs and blogging and the first season of Picard and that kind of thing. Messed around with that. Kind of did Fontana and Klurfsky in there. That story. This is the first season to have done a TMS story, putting them in the story. Only implied them before. We painted up some action figures to be the Marshall sportiest people in the cast. They would have been there too. Now the question, of course, remains what the appearance of them here, and they basically the last 4 episodes being about them, basically. That a two-parter, and then these two, and also the Pine Hill. At the end, that's where we wanted to go. Brian's stories added to the story was a Mirror Universe episode. It's Pirate. That was his story. A little bit of this one that he helped with was the cameo with Holder and Cal and that part, and a little bit of the Q stuff, to make that work. Yeah. I also added a little caveat a little add-in to the end of the Q and Picard scene to punch it up, because he's in love with Picard, so he doesn't just hug him; he tries to kiss him. So he's in love with Picard. He's really in love with Picard. Also, we're presuming that the other one the other admiral at the thing is the other Lucky Clark. No, or it's the same guy. He knows what's going on. I thought it was also funny as an ad-libbed scene to include the part where Picard mentions that years ago when Tamara was our Kestra was 12, she tried to shoot him with an arrow in Picard season 1. So it's kind of a nice reference. Now that she's 17 and a half or 18 in this story. No, Q did not. Yeah, I had to add that because I don't buy that Q made them go back in time at all. He put them where they are. So. Also, we're presuming that the other scene at the end, which you already shot, where the flyer was going to crash and it was the other timeline. Playing that the warp sailor and Q are messing with them there. It's not actually back in time. They're messing with them to take one of them off the ship. So that's what's going on. They're still messing with them because they can mess with them a little bit. The idea of the Hazel and Holter characters leaving behind their friends or their acquaintances and whatever, and having them become like these sort of bitter Borg guys is kind of funny. Also, were there any Trekkies at the Marshall Sportiest Jigsaw? Yes, there were many actually. It wasn't just that one girl that liked the Star Wars, which is the other show, and Star Trek. There were Trekkies. There was we did a Trekkie skit at one point, We did a Star Trek skit with the three of the guys from the cast, including the truck guy and the other guy. But yeah, we did a Trekkie skit. It was funny. Yeah, so there were Trekkies. I think the Grandmaster was even kind of an occasional Trekkie. We went to the Star Trek movies with the Academy, so yeah. So